A lot of people, they're a bit uncomfortable to talk about the financials behind working in this area. A
Yeah.
lot of people, they do not learn. I have colleagues that sometimes we have talks about, how do I charge? How do I present a quote? How do I make an inventory about what I have to do with? What are the options? I got one advice from one of my teachers, Hans Peterson, and he said, keep a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Keep track of how much time do you need to do this, and that. Of course, your speed will increase with your experience.
Yeah.
But if you note that, let's say you go have a project, just kicking a number, you're charging 50 euros
Yeah.
for the project, you're going to be doing this and that.
Yeah.
You started doing the project, if you don't have an idea how much, you end up giving a project back to the client that costs 150.
Yeah.
But you're being paid just a 50. It's not fair.
Yeah.
To yourself,
Absolutely.
First of all, that's the balance that you have to find as well, because you're a restorer and a business person.
That's a really valid point, and that was one of the reasons I stopped really doing bookbinding and book repairs for money, because I never was good on estimating how much money should I get from this or that per person for the project they want me to do. And it led to frustration, because I felt that I spend more time and more of my work on projects that I'm underpaid for. And I liked the projects, but I didn't like that I got not enough money. And then there are other things like this usual imposter syndrome, when you feel that you shouldn't charge more than some fair price or something, even if you feel that your services are worth more than you are charging. So this is whole mess of problems that I felt, and issues that I worked through and never really worked through, and decided just to stop that process. But in the end, I have all the same routine for my tools, because I know how much time I spend. For example, when I'm making paper molds with watermarks or something, I know how much time I will spend on adding a watermark to a paper mold, and I charge on hourly basis. I know how much money will take to make some changes in some design, so I charge hourly for that as well. And here it feels somehow much more comfortable than with books for me. So yeah, I'm glad that I found this.
It's the same thing. It's the same concept.
It's the same, but somehow it didn't work for me with books. I don't know why. Maybe I was younger and not enough experienced, and now I have more experience.
I don't think that has to do with age. I know people that around my age, that they still have the same issue. It's about being taught. Like, as I said, I come from business background, especially very much focus on project management. So I take that one nowadays.
Yeah.
In the beginning, like when I was doing this, despite the fact that I know that you have to take overhead in consideration, administration costs, your costs in general, you have to get a lot of things to get your price, to reach your hourly price. Then you have to understand how the production of what your services, how fast they are, how much you take to do the things, and in illustration, there are all different little kind of things that are interconnected. It takes time.
Yeah.
This year I am a little bit better with my quotes.
Yeah.
I'm 6 years.
Yeah.
Doing just like a restoration in my quotes. In the beginning, I was noticing that I was underpaid because I didn't have enough data to make my calculations.
That's true.
Collection of data.
Yeah.
And sincerely, if someone here comes with a big project to me and wants to pay this, I say no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't like people doing bargaining with my price as well. If they want to do bargaining price, believe me.
Yeah.
People in Bazaar in Istanbul, they got a really bad time with me because I'm very good at bargaining.
Yeah. I, I guess the other thing that changed for me was that when I moved to making tools, even while we were still living in Moscow, and I was still doing some bookbinding projects. When I moved to doing tools, I started with a spreadsheet. And I started recording how much time, materials, and other stuff I used, for example, for make a sewing frame or a press.
Yeah.
And that was a completely different approach because I was doing bookbinding for 10 years before I started making tools for sale. And I had my routines with my bookbinding projects, and they didn't include spreadsheets or something. But when I moved to making tools, I started with spreadsheets, and now I have tables for every smallest bit of equipment I produce. I have a spreadsheet with all the materials, time spent on printing
Yeah.
or making or post processing or additional works, shipping, additional materials, taxes, additional fees. I don't know, like rent, electricity, like everything is included there.
Yeah. The
And
overhead. Yeah.
so I had this different approach right from the start, and maybe this is what makes me so much more comfortable with the tool making projects. But now I have so much time spending on tool making that I don't really have an opportunity to return to bookbinding.
But it's the same concept,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
advice from my teacher was so good, and matched my background. And believe me, I have like, I being applied, just apply, just even if you're doing just as a hobby.
yeah,
And if you just wanted to know about a little bit more details about how is your work process, to just do it.
yeah.
You can also make yourself a nice little book. It doesn't have to be a spreadsheet. You can make a
Yeah,
nice little notebook where you note all your times.
yeah,
It's really important, to keep a record.
yeah. That's true. And yeah, keeping records, it's really important in so many ways. Not only just digits in the table, but also photos and notes and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
that's what I was making since my first bookbinding project, because I think it started even earlier, because I always was into photography since film cameras and all that stuff. And my grandfather gave me my first camera when I was I don't know, not 10, younger than 10, and I loved it. So I photographed my projects since my childhood. I think you know this guy Adam Savage from he was from Mythbusters on Discovery Channel.
I
uh,
think I remember.
they took all the different or misconceptions,
Yeah,
and broke them apart. So he now has a YouTube channel of his own project. And recently he told that since his childhood he photographed all his projects, and it's very important, because when you return to these projects you can see what mistakes you made,
yeah,
what ideas were in the base of these projects, and you can be inspired for more projects, for new ones. And it really helps me because I can see my first books, and I can share them with other people. I see all the mistakes I made. I can speak about these mistakes, and it's fun, it's interesting, and it's I hope it's inspiring for some.
I think that I keep records of everything. I have notebooks that I note the ideas, mistakes, whatever. I have a zillion of those books every time that I'm working on an idea. In a restoration project, what you do as well, you make reports
Yeah,
over the process. In these reports, normally we include before and after
yeah,
photographs.
yeah,
And the photographs also help you, because sometimes you're doing something and you just want to check, wait a second, where I am here now.
yeah,
It's just where I should be going now. So it's a kind of, it's also like that visual aspect, like, okay, I'm this part of the process, and the before and after. When you write a report, it's actually the reporter, it's basically write a report for another colleague. So
yeah,
normally the client can't read the report very well.
yeah,
Because it's very technical. But
yeah,
you hand it over. But keeping a photograph, track of your projects, bookbind or restoration, is a very nice way for you to get a reassurance about how you're progressing, first of all, and also how you progress. And then, of course, you can also, when you return to the project, you can see, okay, I'm this part of the process, and and which parts I still a little bit falling behind. For saying, okay, I still have to work on that. Not in a way of comparing yourself with other people, because I think that everyone has
Yeah.
their own growth path.
Yeah. But some self-control helps.
Exactly. So you kind of look, for example, I've learned tooling. I'm not that good, but I've learned.
Yeah.
If I have something that is more simple to do it, I can do it myself. But if I will have a complex tooling project, I'll send to my teacher.
Yeah.
And that's why I find that it is always important the network with people, network with you, other persons that can do. You can't be perfect and good in everything.
Yeah.
We don't have a lifetime for that. So we ask other people to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
sometimes you don't have space. For example, in my atelier, I don't have space to put a title machine, to put the pregnant or the other ones. If I have something that needs a title, I give or to Benjamin or to take or some other colleagues. I know who has a machine and who does it really well, and I'll outsource.
Yeah.
If I have a lot of boxes to make, I have no space for that.
Yeah.
I can do maybe up to 5 boxes. More than that, it goes to another colleague. I might manage the client, but the task itself is outsourced.
Yeah.
It makes life much simpler because there are so many tools. Mamma mia, there are so many tools.
Yeah, that's true.